Sup, nerds? Okay, so in the last video we discussed 3 types of obstacles females face when looking for power: the concrete wall, the glass ceiling, and the labyrinth. Today we are focusing on the double bind and how it holds female politicians back from obtaining leadership. First, before I can tell you what the double bind is, I'm going to tell you about the role congruity theory. As Gervais and Hillard explain, the role congruity theory is essentially not following or fitting for a perceived role in society and therefore being subjected to criticism and prejudice. Big words aside, the role of politician and the role of being female are seen as completely separate from each other, since politicians are regarded as being manly and powerful. So when women try to act powerful or like a man, people become confused since she's not fitting the feminine role. This is where the double bind comes in. As the Free Dictionary defines it, legitimate sources, a situation in which a person must choose between equally unsatisfactory alternatives. This essentially means when a woman is attempting to run for office or go into a male-dominated field, she faces having to choose to stay within her role and face criticism for being too feminine, or go outside her role and face criticism for being too masculine. A lose-lose. Internal screaming. Femininity is not seen as essential for a politician, but if a woman does not act feminine, she's breaking society's constructed rules. So, a great way to look at the double bind and how it affects women in politics is to look at the 2016 presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton. People have said she smiles too little. During her DNC acceptance speech, Steve Clemens, political journalist and editor for The Atlantic, tweeted, "Instead of lecturing to citizens, Hillary Clinton needs to have conversations with us. Modulate voice, tell stories, set hope, smile. Hashtag DNC and Phil." People have also said she smiles too much. At the first debate, David Froome, senior editor of The Atlantic, tweeted, "Who told Hillary Clinton to keep smiling like she's at her granddaughter's birthday party?" So if she smiles too little, she's uninteresting and not connected. And if she smiles too much, she's trying too hard. The media has also said that she's too calm. Heather Newart of Fox News and Monica Crowley, a guest on the show, criticized Hillary Clinton for being a little too calm in her speech on foreign policy, highlighting that America needed strong, steady leadership. The same news station has said that she's too shouty. When discussing Hillary Clinton's speech at a rally in Florida, a female Fox News reporter said Clinton was screaming so much and that the tone of her voice was aggressive and so loud. If she's too calm, she's not inspiring, and if she's aggressive, she's not acting normal. Funny thing is, this would be considered a normal speech if Bernie Sanders was speaking. Here is Senator Sanders' speech.
Which insults Latinos and Mexicans, insults Muslims and women, African Americans and veterans, and seeks to divide us up.
Versus Secretary Clinton's speech.
And young people across America struggling under the weight of student debt find it difficult to imagine the futures they want. And they deserve a president who will help relieve them of that burden and help future generations go to college without borrowing a dime for tuition.
Really no difference, right? But there were no news reporters saying he was too loud. Men running for president never have their character questioned. It is always more about their policies than about their character. Want evidence for this? Look at the Trump presidency. Not everyone who voted for him was an open white supremacist, but everyone who did vote for him was willing to look past his likability and his overt sexism because they liked his financial policies. For some reason, all people could see when they looked at Hillary Clinton was how unlikable she was, not her policies or her qualifications. Hillary Clinton is by far more qualified than Donald Trump, who has never done anything in government. She has represented tenure in the House and Senate, and has had experience in the executive branch. But for some reason, that didn't matter. People instead focused on how shrill she was, or how she wasn't smiling enough. They focused on aspects of her womanhood, not her ideas for the nation. All in all, the double-bind and role congruity theory emphasize how female candidates can't be too much of a politician and can't be too much of a woman, or they run into obstacles. Becoming trapped in the shackles of the double-bind, female candidates cannot move forward without her role coming into question. So how do we fix this? The best way? Calling it out when you see it and voting for female representatives. Do not let people get away with criticizing women's personalities. Make sure they are critiquing her policies and her ideas, not the tone of her voice or the way she does her makeup. By voting for female representatives, you have the power to change society's idea of a woman candidate. The more exposure to female representatives and how they run, the less people will question the congruity of her role. Wait?
Dr. Corey, news memos, lead a workshop, remember birthdays, direct workflow, my own bathroom, like romantic,